You've already heard it, the ambassador from the United States is here. But before I get on stage, I'd again like to thank her for what she's been doing in the last couple of years, because I don't know if you're that familiar with it, but she's been an integral part of supporting the Austrian startup community and us doing what we're doing, and she's been all over the country supporting us in many ways. It's an honest felt intrinsic motivation behind what you do. That's amazing. Thank you so much for what you do. And of course also thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the American ambassador, welcome on stage, Alexa Wesner. Great to have you here. Thank you. Thanks.
Can you hear me? Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me here again this year. And I want to especially say thank you to Flo and Bastien for doing that jumping, because it's going to save me from having to dance again this year. I know you were looking forward to that, but not this year. So maybe the end. So let's get right to it. From small businesses that grow into medium-sized and large corporations, to students like yourselves who spin off their research projects into new technologies, and developers and designers who revise and redefine how we address our daily routine, innovation is driving the 21st century economy. These days, entrepreneurship is where innovation happens. Every aspect of entrepreneurship, from startups to multinational corporations, play a role in job creation, the retention of wealth, and the harboring of society's most vital skills. But when it comes to innovation, that inescapable buzzword, innovation, that permeates almost every discussion from the breakfast table to the boardrooms, startups are the ones that are driving and are the driving force in today's society. Yes, large corporations also innovate, but for the most part, they innovate incrementally, not exponentially. And that leads me to what I want to talk to you briefly about today, which is the bold risk takers, what defines them, and why we need them. First, briefly, I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to Rudolf for inviting me back here to speak today. Thank you also to Flo and Bastien for your incredible hard work, and I would suggest that your event planning skills are extremely good. I also want to thank the entire team for putting this all together, as well as Daniel for the warm introduction. And it's, of course, an honor to share the stage with the rector this morning. So I think we can see, of course, from the audience here today and the community, the overwhelming support from the community, that this is a great program. So congratulations on achieving this in the past 3 months. Congratulations. So entrepreneurs develop skills that don't exist yet. Entrepreneurs build technologies that don't exist yet. Entrepreneurs engineer social interactions and foster equality in a way that even governments cannot. Outside of formal university schooling, outside of traditional businesses, outside the marbled halls of government, pioneers, thinkers, and hackers educate themselves by doing. And through trial and error, they develop new products, new markets, and occasionally birth entire new industries. This kind of social genesis is unique to entrepreneurship. Don't get me wrong, there is definitely a role in society for established businesses, traditional schooling, and even the lumbering engines of government, being a representative of one of those myself. They are the ones that host our collective knowledge, they maintain the progress that we have made, and they bring stability and safety and predictability to our everyday lives. Without any of those elements, certainly we would be lost. But entrepreneurs, those are the explorers, those fearless few who go beyond and sometimes fight against the status quo. If the status quo gives us incremental progress, then the crazy ones, as Steve Jobs said, provide us with exponential leaps forward. And those leaps are increasingly vital to our progress as a people and our progress as a society as a whole. So vital, in fact, that even governments, the keepers of stability, have taken a keen interest in supporting disruption. What happens, you might ask, when government gets involved in supporting and encouraging disruptive technologies? It's a good question. What happens, for example, when governments invest in nanotech coatings that make automotive parts like ball bearings and lubricants unnecessary? Well, they destabilize the traditional automotive parts industry. They challenge large traditional employers, potentially putting a lot of citizens out of work. It is not a futuristic concept. It is a real concern. Despite creating the digital camera concept, Kodak failed to bring it to market quickly enough. With the demise of Kodak, 140,000 people lost their jobs. Now, let's compare that to when Instagram sold to Facebook for $1 billion. It had a team of how many people? 13. It is happening in every industry, in every nation in the world. In the United States, President Obama is calling for the retraining of the workforce, and we're putting programs in place that will hopefully revitalize the American workforce, preparing it for the digital economy and beyond. We have to prepare for the future because we can no longer linger in the past. Hoping for such stability in an exponential world is a waning concept. We have to respect the traditions of the past, but we cannot halt human progress. While smartphones and the internet and apps like Instagram brought about the downfall of giants like Kodak, they also brought, of course, photography to the masses. Who among us hasn't snapped a photo, hopefully several today, right now, with our phone and already posted it online? If you're old enough to remember analog photography, which I am, you would also remember that we used to go to great lengths to develop our pictures. In fact, I had a darkroom for a little while, just so we could store them in albums and put them on our bookshelves. You remember books, right? We could take them out once or twice a year. We could show them to our family and to our friends. But today, every proud moment, every beautiful landscape, every hilarious moment with our friends, we show off not twice a year, but every day, and probably every hour, and for some of us, probably every couple minutes. Anywhere on the earth, at any time, driving an emotional impact that did not exist and that could not exist before digital photography. I chose the example of photography here for a reason today. It is a creative act, and I think it's important to end on this note. When technology does its job, it makes us more creative. All of us. We can't all be Annie Leibovitz. I did try. But we can be empowered to create and contribute. Digital photography unlocks a truly human attribute, our desire to think and to reason, to explore the world around us, to ponder and to create the artistic. And to me, that is the way forward. Automation is changing the job landscape. It's pretty clear that if you go to work and you do the same thing every day in the same way, at the same time, within a decade, you might be replaced by either automation or a robot. We are not going to compete with digital efficiency or robotic wages, but as good as computers get, I saw recently, actually, I wonder if anyone's seen this, that there was a computer that actually painted a Rembrandt with such accuracy. Have you all seen that? Look it up. It's absolutely amazing. It took years, actually, to happen, but it's amazing. But even when they can do something like that, paint a Rembrandt, they lack their own inherent creativity. So I leave you with this. Exercise your creativity. Leverage ingenuity. And apply it to solving the world's problems. This is the role of the entrepreneur. And as we progress, it will soon become the role of every person in society. As entrepreneurs, your role is to think beyond the past and create the future. Along the way, your role is to empower society, to drive human progress, and encourage people to express their individual character. In doing so, you are unleashing a new renaissance that will hack the human genome, explore the universe, and compete on a universal level with species far beyond our current imagination. Why does the world need entrepreneurs? Because you empower our ingenuity and unlock the incredible potential of humanity. You should settle for nothing less. Settle for nothing less. So congratulations again. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak again. And maybe I'll do a quick moonwalk off the stage. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks.